Good morning. Welcome back to Covey Chase Farm. I appreciate you watching. If you haven't done so yet, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel and helps the farm. This episode of the farm blog is two parts. The first part, I get the chicken paddock set up, and I talk a little bit of detail about the poultry netting that I use from Kencove Farm Fencing Supplies. I have had quite a few messages and questions about the poultry netting. So we'll see how it works, what it looks like, and how I set it up. And then we are going to move 206 Freedom Ranger chicks out of the brooder and onto pasture. They are 1 day short of being 3 weeks old when I move them to pasture. So I hope you enjoyed the video. As I mentioned, the chicks will be going out on pasture here in a little less than a week. Here is where they will be headed. They will move progressively up this hill and back, and then through this pasture through their lifetime. Here is the netting that I use. This is called poultry netting. It is from Kencove Farm Fencing Supplies. I use 84-foot sections. You'll notice the horizontal wires, they have metal wire running through them. They are electric. The vertical wires are plastic. You have a connector on it that connects your panels. There are several of these fiberglass stakes that run through the panels, and they have, on this particular time, they have a step-in post with the fiberglass on one end, and it has a metal one. I really like that design. It grabs the ground really good. They're 84 foot long. I have 7 panels right now. I'll let you see how I set them up. The paddocks are set up. On this side of my permanent fence, you'll notice I have a high tensile wire that is electric, and it runs up into the middle part of the farm. In order to electrify this poultry netting, you hook a connector here, and then I just simply run that over here into my electric wire. Now my entire fence system here is electrified. I did get a question about when can you start telling whether they're a hen or a rooster. This was a straight run batch of chicks, meaning that it'll be a mixture. Some of them are getting to that point. Here's one that's going to be clearly a rooster. If you look at it, he's got the tome, it's started, it's getting very red, and then if you look below his beak, you see the wattle starting to drop down. You see they're still missing their feathers underneath, starting to put them on up top. Does have quite a bit of down still. This chick was rather big as well. However, I would expect that it's going to be a hen. You see the tome is not very defined, and there's not really a wattle at all. I think the bigger thing is there's no red color to it at all. The hens generally will have a very small comb, and it definitely will not be a bright red color. As usual, this is another job I'm doing by myself. Farm girl Ann's at work, farm boy Connor's at school, farm boy Clayton is up at college. So I just take my time. You'll see here in the brooder, I catch a certain amount. I've got a blocker, a board here that blocks these in. I'll catch these up. I'll put 15 to a crate, and then put it on a wagon and haul it up to the pasture. There's the rest of the chicks. My goal for next year, considering I would like to do 5 batches of 500, I would like to double my brooder space and build it on a wagon, to where at this point I could just pull it up into the pasture, open up a door somewhere with a ramp, and move them out onto pasture that way. All the ticks are out now. This is pretty typical for what they do here at the first. They're not really sure what just happened. You'll see a good portion of them have already found the one cover. I do leave their feed, water right here early on, very close. Because again, you gotta remember, there are only 3 week-old chicks. They're not going to range very far. As they progress, they understand, they start foraging more, I start moving the feeders out. It is a cooler morning, and there's a breeze. The clouds, though, are starting to burn off. So before long, we'll start having some sunshine, and they are going to be, I would expect, much more active by this afternoon. Some late in the day, about 6:30 in the evening, I've actually, after I left them and put them out here this morning, I've been gone all day. Let's see how they're doing. I've had some of them that are ranging quite a ways already. You see all of them are starting to move out. You see them up there at the feeder. They're getting acclimated, they're starting to move. Usually this time of day, it may have gotten a little hot with the sun out, but they are doing what chickens do. Here's what I really expect them. They start moving out in front of the feeders. This is a good sign. Other thing I look for when I first put them on pasture is, do they come off feed? Sometimes they will from the stress of the move and new surroundings, come off feed for a while. I put 50 pounds of feed out. They were eating 23 to 25 pounds a day. So I would say by tomorrow morning, they will have definitely eaten half of the feed I put out. So I think they're right on pace of eating what they have been doing. I appreciate everyone watching, and I hope you have a great week.